We got more sound design tips and tricks today. Those ear candy special flavor moments that are all over everyone's mix, from the beginning of recorded music on like the Beatles to all the way up to today, you know, and there's stuff before the Beatles, but the Beatles I mentioned because George Martin was particularly good with realizing no matter how good a song is, you can take it to another level by really messing with what's going on. So it's got nothing to do with being a good or bad songwriter. It's just about making things better if you can. And if you have an idea, then it can be made better. So learn how to do stuff like this. It's going to really step up your mixes. Let me also just say, we hit 1,000 subscribers this morning. I got to tell you, thank you from the bottom of my heart. You don't know what that makes me feel like and how happy I am for that. Can't tell you. So we're going to keep going. More value coming to you every day like we've been doing. And here we go. Contrast is everything. So I'm going to use distortion on drums. Cool way to make a drum set go from, actually it makes it smaller when you add distortion to drums usually. But if you use it in parallel with a drum sound, you could use it kind of like to push the sound also. It really depends how you use it. In our case, I'm going to use it in an intro to make it sound tight and small and then get big. Listen to a song like 1979 by Smashing Pumpkins. You will notice the drum part doesn't change much throughout the song. What does change is the effects that they're adding to the drums. Without any effects on it, it sounds like this. Not bad, but what I'm going to do is add some decapitator, because this is a go-to plugin. If you have sound toys, you can get a lot done using just this. So listen to it with the decapitator on the drum fattener preset. This is without it. This is with it. It makes it a little less low end, a little less everything, but it also adds a cool effect. Hit it with the punish knob if you want. Really messes with it. So very cool. What I'm going to do in this case is run this into another effect. It's called the Auto Biscuit effect. It's like this 8-bit effect from Universal Audio, and it's so cool. It reminds me of this little keychain I used to rock in Chinatown. I used to grab this thing every chance I got because it lasted about a week before the battery died, or you dropped it and it didn't work. And you would be able to push these 2 rows of colored buttons and get some weird distorted 8-bit lo-fi sound. So I saw this and I was like, damn, that reminds me of this. I gotta get it. So by using a plugin like this, it's gonna add a lot of this cool lo-fi nature. You could do this using a ton of things. You don't need to make it this. But check this out, all right? That's with it. This is without. That's with it. Pretty sick. Now to make it sicker, I was messing with the knobs, and what I realized is the frequency knob makes it where it changes where this distortion is actually happening. So you can use that in the way that like a DJ would, to take apart and make it, you know, to add a filter to it to cover it up, make it sound like it's far away behind a door and then bring it close to you. Very similar. So in order to make this sound great, you're going to automate it. How do you automate plugins? This works for a ton of plugins, not just this. So just learning these rules will help you going forward. You see this double square deal up here? Hit this box within a box. It brings up plugin automation. Now, figure out every single parameter on this plugin is on the left side, okay? You're going to figure out which one you want to manipulate. In my case, it's freak, the frequency knob, abbreviated, F-R-E-Q. As soon as I double click that, it pops it over here. This is what will be automated, okay? Whatever you select here goes in this column. So now when I hit OK, the next step is I come down here. You see where it says read? Read means read automation. As soon as you click that read button, you have these choices. Now, what do these mean? You got to know. Touch means wherever you touch this parameter and move it to, it will automate that parameter, and then when you let go, you stop touching it, it goes back to wherever it was set before you started touching it. It reverts back. This is the most useful one in my opinion, because especially on like volume automation, which is done in every mix I've done probably ever. That's always been the go-to. You could set the volume right, but there's going to be moments you're going to lose a word, you're going to want to hear more of something. You got to add volume automation. And if you use touch to do it, you can ride a vocal in a spot and then let it go when it's done, and it goes back to where it was when you had the balance right. That's why this is the most useful automation setting there is. Now, after that, you get latch. Latch is good if you want to manipulate a parameter, and then when you let go, it stays where you left it. So it's not going to go back like it would with touch. It's going to stay there. Now, that's not bad also for other things. Now, touch latch. Touch latch is like good for a long form thing. You're trying to automate something that's very long, and like picture a film score. If you are dealing with film and you want to make it sound realistic, when someone goes to the left side of the, the set or whatever, basically you want to pan them left, right? But you may also want to adjust other things too simultaneously, like the guy's whispering, so you make the volume louder. Great. Now, when he stops whispering, you let go of the volume and it goes back to normal. That's what touch latch is. It's going to revert the volume back to what it was as if it was set to touch when you let go of it, but it won't change back the other parameters like panning. So in other words, you pan him to the left, you let it go. You don't want him to flip back to the center. You want him to stay there if he's still over there. So you use a touch latch for something like this. It gives you just volume will revert back to what it was before you touched it. Right, think of right as overwrite. So that's only good if you want to overwrite every parameter that you've messed with on the pass. If you don't, and you have it on right, it's going to erase whatever automation you had prior to that and assume you didn't want it there. So right is a destructive way to do it. If you've got your automation set on a bunch of parameters, don't set it to right. What you want is touch most of the time. So let's just deal with this, all right? I'm going to set it to touch. Now, when I let this play through, I'm going to manipulate this frequency knob, and you're going to watch what happens because, again, the frequency is in this column. So that's what's going to be changing as this works. It's on touch. Here we go. That automation will live on the track. It's exactly like I did it. Check it out. See the knob moving? I'm not touching anything. The knob moves on its own now. And if you messed up one part of it, just go to the part you messed up, hit play, and then manipulate it from there. You see? So if you wanted to change the end of it, you just do it again from the end. All right? Forgot to mention, if you're done with your automation, you got to come over here and flip it back to read. If you don't, you risk anytime you touch this parameter, you're changing the automation, and you may not want that. Well, I hope you guys liked this video. If it helped you, please add a little distortion to the like button. Also, hit subscribe if you haven't already. You don't want to miss more of these. I'm going to link to the delay video about how to add some ear candy tricks to the delays you may be doing on your tracks already. And, we're going to see you in the next one. I want to thank you again for the 1K. This is Evan Jaffe, Custom Cut Studios. Remember, you guys got this.